Hello and good evening, everybody. I'm Josh.
I'm Sophia. Welcome to the Nightly from Hatch, a slumber party for pop culture lovers. How are you, Josh?
I am doing well. I am back home after some travel, and it's been really nice to settle back in.
Yeah. You were in LA?
I was in Los Angeles, which I also like. This isn't like, oh, I hate it there.
Totally.
But I was there for 3 weeks, which is a long time to just kind of like be living out of a hotel.
It's quite a long time to be living in a hotel, I would say.
Yeah. I felt like Gene Hackman in Royal Tenenbaums, like luxurious and pathetic.
Yeah. I would say things to me get difficult when you don't have access to a kitchen for extended periods of time.
Yeah. No kitchen. I had a little fridge,
Okay,
but no microwave.
yeah. See, and that's hard because it just gets to a point where it's like, well, I guess I am going to be eating out every single meal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Just the little things of like, oh, these pillows are a weird thickness.
Yes.
And I guess that's just my life for 3 weeks. And it's, it's not a bad thing. It's like such a silly problem. But, I think here in the pillow fort, pillow
Yes.
thickness is an important quality.
If there's anywhere that we can take the thickness of a pillow with the utmost severity that it deserves, I would say it's here in the pillow fort. And it is important.
Thank you. Can I tell you one nice thing about the hotel I stayed at?
Oh my God, of course.
This hotel had the most efficient elevator I've ever experienced.
Like speedy?
It was like someone had called it already by the time I got to the elevator.
Oh my God.
It was like there was an elevator valet making sure it was ready for me. Every time I pressed the button, it was like, bing, here I am.
Oh my God. You were living in the lap of luxury.
It felt incredible.
Wait, was there actually a person there doing it for you, or was it just moving really fast?
No. There was no, I know that used to be like a real job,
Yeah.
but so listeners, that's not what I just meant it was
as though.
Totally. As though there was a person there waiting for me. Yeah. But it was not an elevator operator. And also I've been to much shorter hotels. I was staying on the 7th floor, and there was like a restaurant and bar on the 8th floor that we spent some time at, the colleagues I was traveling with, and every time either of those floors, the elevator was right there.
Wow.
And it just felt spectacular.
They
I
had
felt
it.
so attended to.
I felt completely taken care of by the elevator.
AI could never anticipate my needs at this level.
No, AI could literally never.
Yep. So it was a really wonderful experience. How are you?
I'm good. I'm having a lovely time. My brother's in town this week, which is very nice. So spending some time with him.
Cool.
He's here for like 10 days, which is amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, we just hung out a lot. And I'm like, I have a whole additional week with you. What a joy. But I'm on my crusade to get him to move here, which I think will be happening relatively shortly.
Excellent. Where does he live now?
He's in LA. He spends
he
spent like half last year in London though. So he's kind of all over.
Wow.
But I think I'll get him to New York within the next couple months, thankfully.
And New York is closer to London than LA is, and
exactly,
it's closer to LA than London.
Exactly,
is.
It's completely perfect. It's right in the middle of the two. It's like, why not instead of moving to one of the two places where you need to be, you just move to the place that's in the middle of the two places that
live
you
right in
need
the
to
middle.
be.
Yeah,
I think that's an amazing system.
The kind of classic King Solomon split the baby in half. That's the best choice.
Split the difference and just live in New York. But
that's right.
I was really happy because like I was looking at the weather and I was like, oh, I want him to be here when it's like amazing, like not like rainy. And I was worried that it would be a bit rainy, but it turns out everything worked out and there was perfect weather this weekend. And he was texting me being like, it's so nice out. I love it here. I was like, exactly. My plan is coming together perfectly.
This is obviously true of many places, but New York specifically, in my experience, if you visit during like a peak spring day or a peak fall day, you're like, oh, I get the hype. It's perfect here. Everything's wonderful.
I get it. I know.
And then if you visit at the height of summer or the height of winter, you're like, I don't know how anyone lives here. This is a bad place.
Bad place to
Everyone should leave.
We have to go evacuate the city. Everyone has to move out. Yeah. So I really was.
Tell them to move it along.
I know. I was like, please, please, please have it be like not raining or whatever. And it wasn't raining. So that was magnificent. But I think we're going to play a little game today.
I hope we do.
I think, and I actually know we're going to play the magnificent game called Do You Remember? And do you remember this game, Josh?
I do remember this game, Sophia.
For the uninitiated, for the listeners who maybe don't remember, do you remember? This is a game where one of us recalls.
This is really becoming kind of an Inception-y.
Right. You guys need to buckle up. This is high concept. So if you don't remember, do you remember? Do you remember? Is the game we play.
So all you need to remember, do you remember?
There's a couple things you need to remember so that we can remember, do you remember? And basically what this is it's our little game where we recall the plot of a movie that we haven't seen for a while to one another, and we see what happens. Sometimes we come up with a brand new movie. Sometimes we hit the nail right on the head. So I think I'm going to start with a classic film, one of the best films that's ever been made. It's Mean Girls. What's your relationship with Mean Girls, Josh?
I really liked Mean Girls when I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are moments of it that I think about often. It is like a much memed movie.
It's highly memed.
Yeah, and so it comes up all the time, just culturally.
Yes.
But it's been a very long time since I've seen it.
Okay.
So if you were to be I do not remember beginning to end what happens.
Okay.
There's girls, they're mean.
There's girls and they're mean.
They learn a little lesson. Yep.
Okay, the movie from my memory begins with a girl named Katie Heron. Her name is written Cotty, and that's just something that I know and is important. She's played by Lindsay Lohan, of course, the much loved Lindsay Lohan. She's just moved back to the States. I don't know what state they're in, but they've just moved back to the States from somewhere in Africa. I also don't know what country in Africa. So look, we're all.
I feel like that's symmetrical to not remember where in Africa or where in North America they live and live.
It's bad that I can't remember where in Africa they're from, but it doesn't help that I can't even remember where in North America they're living now. So let's just say that. Basically, her mom was like, all I know is that she was working with children and she came back with many relics, and she also gave the children protein bars that will come into play later. She's going to this new school. Her whole thing is that she was homeschooled previously by her parents, and now she's like basically having her first experience in high school, and she is completely shocked by what she finds. So she goes to school. She's using metaphors of being like, high school is like a jungle, and there's all these different people. There's different types of people you can be friends with. I'm like trying to think of what happens next. She basically she's walking around the school, she's taking a tour of the school, and this is when we meet Janice and Ian, who are kind of like the theater freaks, I would say, of the different cliques in the school, and they kind of decide to like take her under their wing. They're like, you seem cool, we're going to become friends with you, and you're going to be our little friend, our new little friend. She at one point at the start of the movie also meets a man whose name I forget, but she's kind of like Aaron Samuels. I don't forget it.
Wow. Good pull.
I've seen this movie a lot, but I haven't seen it for a while.
He sits like right in front of her, right?
Yes.
In class.
And this is also classic. He asked her what day it is, and this is I also forget the day, but that day has now become like National Mean Girls Day. Because she's like, oh my God.
And it's one of those days that
it's like
everyone
April,
online will post about on that day every year.
I know.
Where it's like, oh, there's the day in Back to the Future that they go back to in the future. And
exactly.
Like, this is one of those.
So I'm getting a spiritual download from the producers that it's October 3rd is the day. So everyone mark your calendars for October 3rd. That is Mean Girls Day. And then like Ian and Janice give her a tour of the school. They're telling her like all the different types of people that there are. They're like, there's the like horny freaks or whatever. There's like the not horny freaks or whatever. That is like legit. I'm like, you're laughing. I'm like, that's literally a joke from the movie. And then basically they get to the plastics, who are like they're like the popular girls in school. This cast of characters are Regina George or
Gretchen Wieners.
Gretchen
right?
Wieners, thank you. Who's like crazy, and it's like her dad invented Post-it or something. And then the last one, who's played by Amanda Seyfried, whose name I forget, but she is like stupid kind of, but also like kind of smart. She can tell when it's raining by touching her boobs. Okay.
Mhm.
And they're like, basically, they're like, those girls are evil. However, they devise a plan. They end up devising a plan where it's like, actually, they're evil, but you should befriend them and ruin their lives because they've ruined our lives. Because basically, Regina George started a rumor that Janice is a lesbian, and that has haunted her ever since. Because she's like not a lesbian, even though she like looks like a lesbian. I'm like, I get it.
You watch the movie and you understand why the rumors
You
stop.
completely understand. It's shocking to me that she's not a lesbian.
Again, not to pull from Seinfeld, but not that there's anything wrong with that.
Guys,
But
being a lesbian is completely natural. It's one of the most normal and amazing things you can do in life. Or I guess she could also be bisexual. But the bit that they're doing is that it's like she's not gay, and I'm like, that girl's gay. But it's fine. It's fine.
Mhm.
And she's like, this is perfect. I'll like infiltrate this friend group and like basically like ruin their lives or whatever, like totally like be evil. So she starts befriending the plastics. They have a lot of rules for her. They're like, one of the famous rules, like on Wednesdays we wear pink. She has no pink, so she ends up wearing Ian's like oversized pink polo that doesn't really fit her quite right in an attempt to fit in. And the problem, however, is that the guy Aaron Samuels that she has a crush on is Regina's ex-boyfriend, so it becomes a bit of a conflict of interest because she does really and truly like him, and now she's like befriending his ex, who is also evil and will like destroy her life if she does anything about it, right? We learn about the Burn Book, another classic. This movie, the thing about this movie that's so interesting is that it's like it was satirizing evil teen girls, but as like a teen girl, you're watching it being like, this is amazing. I want to be evil just like that.
Totally.
So,
they did seem powerful and influential and stylish.
they definitely had power and influence, which are two amazing things to have when you're a teenager. It's all you want.
As a teen, I had so little power when I was a teen. I was never a teen girl, so maybe it was different. But as a teen boy, I felt not super influential.
I definitely didn't feel like very influential. And yeah, they have this thing called a burn book where they put photos of people and they just write like nasty stuff about it, which is like, come on. We all say nasty stuff. Don't put it in the book. Like, that's the whole point.
This was like just before cyberbullying.
Yes, literally. They were like, cyberbullying hasn't quite blown up yet. We need to find a new innovative way to be cruel and disseminate this information in an analog style.
We're bullying analog style.
Yes, we're doing analog bullying. It's kind of like, imagine if a rude comment you left on someone was instead written in a book. It's kind of like that. And so she's like, cool, awesome, I love this. I love being like a crazy, rude B word, whatever. But of course, as we're saying, like the influence and the power goes to her head. She's not really doing this undercover anymore. She's getting powerful, and she wants to keep amassing more power.
She's in too deep.
Yeah. What is it? Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
That's right.
The Katie Heron story.
An expression invented to describe the plot of the movie Mean Girls.
Yes, that was a philosopher watched Mean Girls and then wrote some theory about how absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
And
being part of the plastics it messes you up.
It really messes you up. And so she gets in a little bit too deep, and she basically like it becomes a true plastic, and her old friends Ian and Janice are like, you're changing. The things that she's doing to sabotage them, I would say, she gets Regina George to eat these protein bars that her mom brought back that she had for the kids in Africa. Basically, Regina George is like, oh my God, I want to lose weight. And she's like, Katie's like, I have these bars that my mom uses to lose weight. Of course, they actually are not. It's basically like she's like giving them like Ensure. She's giving them like a really high calorie snack, nutrient dense snack, which is like amazing. She probably needed that to sabotage her so that she gains weight, which is of course a terrible thing that can happen to you.
Yeah, when a teen girl gains weight, that's the worst thing she can do.
It's the worst thing in the world. And so she does that.
You lose all your power and all your influence.
Literally, that influence that you wanted so badly, watch it. So it's also, I think, like somewhere along the way, Regina and Aaron like maybe get back together, but she's actually cheating on him with another guy. And so also like Katie like tries to like catch her out and cheating, whatever. She's just like destroying their lives, blah, blah, blah. She decides to throw a party because she's like, if I throw this party, Aaron and I will kiss. The problem with the party is that it's the same night as Janice's big art opening. No. Also, she is pretending to be bad at math because she wants Erin's attention. She's actually really good at math. She's really smart at math. She throws this party. She skips Janice's art opening. The party obviously goes completely awry. She tries to make out with Erin. She gets too drunk and she yaks on him. And I won't go into detail, but it's not very sexy.
It rarely is.
It rarely is. It's really hard to be sexy when you just yak all over someone. But her two friends get mad. They're like, you've gone way too far down this path. Like, you missed my art opening. I thought you were going to be there for me. You are just a plastic. You're not. This isn't fake. This is who you are. So she's kind of down in the dumps.
You're fake for real.
You're fake for real. You're real plastic. And I'm like, opening act 3. She's then like, she's basically in the doghouse with like everyone. I think her life is completely terrible. Everyone's mad at her. Whatever. She wants to make amends. So what does she do? She decides to join the mathletes because she's failing math, because she's trying to make Erin, she wants Erin to like help her with math, but the problem is he's actually really bad at math. So she's like, thank you so much, you're so smart, and then like submitting her papers, and she's just failing all of it. And the teacher, who is of course played by Tina Fey, is like, you can, if you want to not fail math, you can join the mathletes and you can come to our mathlete competition, and that will be like extra credit or whatever. So she's like, okay, I'll do it. I've lost basically everything. I have nothing left. Why not join the mathletes, even if it's like social suicide? She does it. This is the mathletes big tournament is of course the same night as like homecoming or whatever. I don't know what dance, because
that's how high school schedule things. They're like, okay, a big event for the cool kids and a big event for the losers are on the same night because nobody is going to want to double up.
Obviously, the nerds don't need to go to homecoming. They can go to the mathlete tournament, and all the cool kids get to go have fun and dance.
Yeah.
She like does the tournament. They win. She clinches it by saying like, the limit does not exist. That's the answer to the question. Guess what, y'all? They make it to homecoming as well. You already knew that.
Sick.
Also, somewhere in here, Regina George gets hit by a bus. I forget when it happens. It's like she and Katie are like screaming at each other. She's like, you stole my boyfriend or something. And then she gets legit like hit by a bus.
My driver's ed teacher in high school would call that getting biffed. That's what he would always say. He'd be like, okay, so you're driving your car, you're not looking where you're going. All of a sudden, boom, you just biffed a guy on a motorcycle.
Okay, it's like, I would call it more than biffed. Biffed is like you made an oopsie. You hit someone with your car.
I know. To him, getting biffed can be lethal. And biffing, that can be murder.
Biffing can be complete vehicular manslaughter, by the way. So be careful. It sounds like it's like not, it sounds like it's all fun and games.
Vehicular biff slaughter.
it's vehicular biff slaughter. You gotta be careful out there. So she gets biffed, but not to the manslaughter degree.
She doesn't get biffed to death.
She doesn't get biffed to death. She just gets biffed to the point of having to have a full body like brace on, obviously. So Regina shows up to homecoming in her brace. It's like adorned with flowers, whatever. Katie shows up after the mathlete tournament.
Math concert, sure.
The math concert. She goes to the math concert.
2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. It's like the shorts on Sesame Street.
Yeah, it's like learning how to count singing with the Wiggles or whatever. She makes it to the homecoming dance. She wins the prize of homecoming queen, which I think was like a joke or something. And then she goes up there. She gives her iconic speech.
Mean.
I know.
Imagine
that part.
Thinking about that in terms of like organizing in secret.
It's crazy.
Like that's, yeah, because that happens in movies, but it's so mean
it's
to
cruel.
do to a kid to like, and it's so much work.
It's so much work. No, it's like, it's such an intricate prank that so many people have to get behind, and it's so cruel. It's
you
like,
have to like whip the votes like you're the Senate majority leader.
It really is like, that is like, put that energy elsewhere, y'all. Like, come on. Like,
right? Unionize the cafeteria.
Yes, literally.
Whatever.
Have pizza every day instead of the prank. How about that? But she goes up there and she's like, y'all, this crown is not just for me, this is for everyone. She breaks the crown apart. People are gasping, but she's throwing little chunks into the audience. She's like, this is for Regina, this is for Janice, this is for Gretchen, who Gretchen was dying to be the queen, but she did not get her title. Yeah, and then like I don't know, she and Aaron dance and they kiss.
That's nice.
And that's kind of the movie. And like, I guess that's it. I just talked for 20 minutes.
No, this is perfect. I loved it. The two things that I remember
Yes.
was Amy Poehler plays the mom.
Oh yeah, Amy Poehler plays Regina George's mom and is like, I'm a cool mom.
Yeah, I'm not right. I'm not a regular
No,
mom.
and she has like a crazy boob job.
Didn't the burn book like circulate widely in the school and everyone saw what the plastics were saying about them?
Thank you. So
that's the only other plot point that I remember.
When you brought up the mom, of course I missed the part where the plastics do their Christmas performance where they do an inappropriate dance to the entire school in a little Santa dress. That's also the thing of like, oh my God, I just cannot imagine having like a teenager, a daughter in particular, and it's like, okay, like you're 16 and you're wearing that outfit and you're dancing with everyone, and that I'm supporting you, of course I have to. And then basically the other thing, as Josh just said, is that to get revenge on Katie, Regina printed out the burn book and made it seem like it was Katie's burn book and put it all over the school, and that created complete chaos among the students. And actually, now that you say that, I remember that is when, after that, they're fighting in the street, and that is when she gets that's when she gets biffed. To put it kindly.
Thank you for using the regionally appropriate term.
And yeah, I think that's the movie to the best of my knowledge.
Sophia, you remembered so much.
I mean, I've seen that movie a lot of times.
Have you seen the musical?
I've seen the movie musical, and I feel like I shouldn't comment on my thoughts and opinions on it because maybe they're not completely positive and kind.
Sure. That's all right.
Have you seen it?
I've not seen it.
Okay. And so that's what we'll say.
I think my wife watched it while I was out, and there's almost no chance of me ever watching something if she's already seen it while I'm out.
I felt like Mean Girls is so fun, like aesthetically in particular. Like part of it that's so fun is like, it was just so fun the way everyone looked and like whatever. And I felt like that was really missing from the movie musical. I was like, oh, I just want it to like look the same kind of, but everyone was just wearing like Shein kind of. And I was like, this is a bummer. But
this was so good. I'm so impressed by your excellent memory.
Thank you.
And honestly, I'm a little worn out from all this remembering. But before we turn in, let's listen to a lovely goodnight that was sent in by our listener, Julia.
I'm calling to wish a good night to the mockingbirds who live in my backyard and sing and chirp loudly at 2 a.m. outside my bedroom window. They're messing with my head, chirping like it's dawn, but in the middle of the night, in the moonlight. I've looked it up. These are young bachelor mockingbirds looking for a mate, but do you really have to cruise for a girlfriend in the middle of the night? Take a night off, get some rest. That's my respectful request to you. Good night.
That was perfect. Thank you so much to Julia for sending that in.
That was a really beautiful good night.
I know. And I really do want to say goodnight to the mockingbird. It's like, let's call it a day. Let's wind down.
Yeah.
You can find love in the morning. Nothing good happens after midnight.
There's no saying about what the late bird gets.
Exactly. So good night to Julia. Good night to all the listeners. And good night, Josh. I'll talk to you next time.
Good night, Sophia. Good night, Julia. Good night, mockingbirds.